this video is all about Te Anau. We get asked, or we see a lot of questions on the social media pages about Te Anau, what there is to do, what there is to see. So we're starting our journey today at the NZMCA Park on Alpine Drive, right across the road from the Alpine Cafe, which is there in the background. And also there is a McEwen's fuel and dump station right across the road from the NZMCA Park. So, as you can see, we're on our bikes. So we're going to do a big loop and include everything there is to see. Well, a lot of things you can see. We can't cover them all because there is a lot. But this is just to give you a little overview what you can do when you're staying at the NZMCA Park, or for that matter anywhere else in Te Anau. So come with us on a wee ride. So since leaving the NZMCA Park, we went down Sandy Brown Road for a couple of kilometres. The end of Sandy Brown Road we turned right, and we are now at the Upukaroa Bridge. Now this is just a new section, a new bridge put in for the new section of the cycle trail. All these cycle trails around Te Anau are looked after by the Fiordland Trails Trust. And eventually the cycle trail is going to be going all the way out to Te Anau Downs, out towards on Milford Road. So this bridge in the background here is just the newest addition. They've also put in a cycle trail along the roadway to take you to the lakefront. So this is just, before that you used to have to travel on Upukaroa Road. I had to practice saying that. I still don't know whether I've got it right, but something like that. So just a couple of k's down, you'll come across the new bridge. It's been 4 kilometres since leaving the NZMCA Park. We've got down to the end of Upukaroa Road, and like the opening curtain on a stage show, the curtains opens to this majestic view of Lake Te Anau. So we're now on the Lakefront Trail, and this will take us right through to the marina. So, just beautiful. Between 7 and 8 kilometres from our starting point. Now I'm giving you a range because my kilometre count is different to Scotty's, so I'm saying between 7 and 8 k's from the NZMCA Park. Ridden along the lake, and we get to the marina area. Now this is where it all happens for if you're a boatie, and it can be quite entertaining in the middle of summer to just sit and watch the boat ramp. So you've got a private boat ramp and a public one, and just by the marina everybody needs a toilet stop from time to time. There are some clean public toilets to use as well. So when you have reached the marina, you're pretty much entering the town area, the township, but there is a cycle trail that you can follow that still carries on along the lakefront, so you don't need to go on the road. So just carry on, follow that lakefront, and I'll catch up with you later. Now this is where it all starts to get a bit busy really, so just make sure you keep up. So about another K down the road, we reach the bottom of the main street of Te Anau, and moored right at the bottom is, you can see in the background, the vintage sailboat Faith, who does charters out on the lake, which I can fully recommend. And you'll also see the Real Journeys boat tied up there at the mooring, and Real Journeys office is right here as well, and they offer a whole plethora of different trips and experiences, and everything that I'm mentioning now, you will find a link to their website in the comments below. So just click on the down arrow and you will see that all the links are there. So by this time you might be feeling a little bit parched, or maybe you've sort of built up a bit of a thirst. So at this end of the town you have got the Moose Bar for a nice cold one. You've also got Miles Better Pies, which Scotty's just a little bit hooked on their pasties, and they do great coffee as well. So we shall carry on.
But also while you're here, you can go jet boating with Fiordland Jet.
Fiordland Jet's office is right here as well. So it's really quite a happening place down at the bottom roundabout, down the bottom of the main street. As I said before, very busy. Hope you're keeping up. Now I told you that this was a busy end of town because down here also in the season you've got the Kepler water taxi that you can see sitting behind me. Now last summer we caught the taxi over to Broad Bay, which is just across the lake, and from there you can start or finish the Kepler track. But we caught the taxi back to here after walking from here round to Broad Bay, which I think was around 10k, so it's a good way to come back. So that's the Kepler water taxi. Now just a couple of 100 metres past Real Journeys and the information centre, you've got the helicopter place. What's it called, Scotty? Southern Lakes Helicopters. Well worth considering. And you've got Wings and Water, Fiordland by seaplane. Now I can recommend that trip because that is a trip that we have done in the float plane. Once again, link to them down below in the comments. So we've ridden the length of Lakefront Drive, nearly the whole length, and right down the end you will come across the Fiordland National Park Visitor Information Centre. Now it's actually well worth a visit to go and see them and have a chat to the friendly staff there, and it's all things about the tracks, bookings of the huts, weather conditions, road conditions, particularly out to Milford Sound, and any sort of information that you may want to know all about the Fiordland National Park. And just a little side note, just a reminder that you cannot take dogs into the Fiordland National Park, and that includes out in a boat on the water. Right, at this point we're going to carry on with the trail, but we're going to take you out to the Manapuri control gates, and that's all on a biking trail, and it's just a little side trip really out towards the gates. So let's go. Another place worth stopping off, and the bike trail goes right past it, is the Te Anau Bird Sanctuary. Now it is free just to wander around and have a look to see if you can spot the birds that are behind the wire fences, but there are guided tours that are available. Once again, information to the link is in the comments below. And when we bike past here, we often see the takahe. They've also got the kaka, the Antipodes parakeet, and the odd moorpork, and maybe many more that I haven't even mentioned. So the Te Anau Bird Sanctuary, they do a great job. Make sure that you call in and see them. Now just as a point of reference, the bird sanctuary is somewhere between 10 and 11 kilometres from our starting point from the NZMCA park, just to give you an idea. Just for you, all you keen golfers, which I know that there are a lot of you out there, check that out for a club room. the Te Anau Golf Club, and they've got beautiful views over the lake. Why wouldn't you want to come and hit a few holes here in Te Anau? Between 13 and 14 kilometres, depending on whose counter you go by. My one says 14.7, but Scotty's will be a bit less. You'll come to the control floodgates here. Now this is controlling the flow from Lake Te Anau into the Waiau River, which eventually flows into Lake Manapuri, and it's all to do with the hydroelectric power station that is on the far side of Lake Manapuri. So this is also the start/finish of the Kepler track. There is a big car park not far from here, and that's where people park up, or they get dropped off here or at Rainbow Reach. But this is the official start/finish for the Kepler. Also, you can keep cycling to do the lake to lake, carry on the lake to lake trail. This is also looked after by the Fiordland Trails Trust. That trail will take you all the way to Manapuri. Now we have done that, but we're not going to be doing that today. It's all on trail bar. It's about 4.7 kilometres that they've just got to finish, just on the bit that you need to ride on the road. In total, I think it is approximately 23 kilometres from Te Anau itself. So, obviously return 46 to 50k. So that's a great trip to do too. So that might be one that you want to put on your list as well. So on our way back, doubling back along the trail from the control gates, this is where we're going to detour off. Back at the bird sanctuary, there's a little sign that points to Iva Wilson Park. Now Iva Wilson Park is a 35 hectare park, and it has a lake in it, Lake Henry, and I'll tell you more about it when we get up there. So there's a little path that diverts up to it, and the main entrance is actually off the main road, so we'll see you there. Right behind me in Iva Wilson Park is Lake Henry. Who would have known? Beautiful, especially on a day like today. So after riding through a few bush trails and tracks, we find ourselves back into the main car park of the Iva Wilson Park. Now I would really recommend that you do it the way that we've just done it, taking the side track from the bird sanctuary, because it takes you straight past Lake Henry and through those tracks and trails. There is a multitude of different trails that you can walk or bike. There are signs to say which ones you can't bike on. There's also a mountain bike track here, and there's also a disc golf course. Not that I've actually tried it yet, but I think I am willing to give it a go one day. So, definitely worth a side visit from the trail to Manapuri control gates. Oh, and the K's, Mr. Darnell.
Oh, yes.
Seem we're going off Scotty's
so far
K's.
17.8.
17.8 kilometres from our start at the NZMCA park. So, we're nearly there. Let's go. So, we're back at our start point, back at the NZMCA park on Alpine Drive. How many kilometres, Scotty?
Mine's saying 20.6.
20.6, mine's saying 21.9. So, I like my one because I think I've travelled further. Anyhow, that's the end of the Great Te Anau Loop. I hope that we've showed you something that you didn't already know, given you some ideas. You don't have to be staying at the park, you don't have to be a camper, you don't have to have a bike. You can walk it if you like. You can add on the control gates, you can go as far or as near as you like. And I couldn't include everything. We just could not include everything that's available here in Te Anau. You're going to have to still do your own research. We can just go on what we've personally experienced or know of. So, or even though we do know of more, we just couldn't include them all. So, however, it's not time to finish your popcorn just yet, because the video is not finished. More to come soon. Stay tuned. Oh dear, I don't have helmet here. We've made our way back to the main street of Te Anau, and Kiwis Fly the Coop's vlogs, blogs and posts usually include food or drink, also known as booze, alcohol. So we've both worked up quite a thirst. Scotty says it's because I've been talking so much, but it's pretty much how I roll. So I've shown you just a snippet of some of the other suggestions to go and eat in town, some of the more well-known ones. But please, if you are in town, do try out the smaller places as well. They're all struggling because of how COVID has hit the rest of the country. So we like to support as many businesses and spread ourselves around as much as possible. So now we have stopped off for just a cheeky cold one at the Bailey's Bar. So once again, all the links to all their websites, Facebook pages will all be down in the comments below. And if you'll just excuse me, I've got a rosé waiting for me.